All right, everybody, welcome to another episode of The Urban Gardener. I want to thank you all so much for joining me here today on this episode. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button down below and follow along with more garden adventures as we continue growing here on The Urban Gardener. And right now, I'm continuing my garden adventure down in Southern California in Los Angeles. We're actually in Hollywood right now, and we're getting a chance to meet up with our friend Charles Malki, who we met up with in an early episode, the Million Drops episode. I'll put an iCard right up above right now to that episode, and you can check out our introduction we had with Charles Malki and the Million Drops there. Today, we're actually visiting with him here at his house in his really cool backyard urban garden. He's got a lot of really cool things growing on here. Some citrus, like you can see right behind me there. Lots of really great things. So let's meet up with Charles now and go take a tour of his garden. All right, Charles, nice to see you there. It's great to be back here in LA and getting to visit with Charles again here on our channel. This time we're in Charles's backyard here. It's great to have us here to check out what you got growing on.
Thanks for coming over, Amy.
Excellent, excellent.
So here we are now next to the Sweet Meyer lemons. I've got these on standard rootstock. They grow a compact height, and that's the reason I've got the standard variety in such a small, tight area, unlike these other lemons I'm going to share with you next. And I wish you could just smell these. Here we are now the first week of April, and the scent these flowers are giving off are quite remarkable. The Meyer lemons are also known for being a year-round bearing fruit tree. We just harvested, I'd say, close to 90% of the fruits during the winter months, and here we are still with some more yellow lemons, and there's some smaller green fruit in here as well, in addition to millions of flowers. These trees were planted as little 3-gallon container-sized trees just 3 short years ago. And as we wrap around over here, we've got a semi-dwarf Eureka lemon. Eureka lemons and Lisbon lemons are very vigorous, fast-growing trees, and that's the reason we've got this one on a semi-dwarf. And you can see that it's got a lot of low branches, and again supporting a lot of lemons as well as flowers and all the sizes of lemons. If you're looking for year-round lemons, the Eureka lemon is, again, one being the store-bought variety quality lemons, and it's also more year-round bearing, more so than the Sweet Meyer lemon that we just saw. And again, here's another semi-dwarf Eureka lemon, another newly installed semi-dwarf Eureka lemon that we also whitewashed using the organic Ivory Organics 3-in-1 plant guard, again protecting that lower tree trunk and lower branches from sunburn. And then you can see all the new growth and flowers that are happening here. This was installed just about 3 months ago. And then over here is our Lisbon variety of lemon, which is very comparable to the Eureka lemon. All of these on this stretch are all semi-dwarf varieties. Both the Lisbon and Eureka lemon are very vigorous, fast-growing lemons, and so putting them on a semi-dwarf will control that growth more so than if you actually had a standard size rootstock, as we did with the Sweet Meyer lemons. Let's continue the tour. So here's one of our newest edition fruit trees. It was originally a plum rootstock. We allowed it to branch, these 3 branches that we then grafted with 3 varieties of fruits that are within the prunus family, and that includes over here, we've got the apricots, as you can see by these rounder leaves. Behind it, we've got the peach tree, and as you can see with these pink flowers, and then to the side of that is a plum. So we've got plums, peaches, and apricots all on one tree, and we're going to be incorporating within the upcoming months and years our almonds and cherries and all these other related prunus variety fruit trees to this one rootstock. Let's continue. And so over here is a cluster of bananas. These two are of the Manzano, also sometimes referred to as the apple variety of bananas. And then right behind me, what appears to be dying, because it is, we harvested the bananas during the winter months, but I left the plant here to basically offer its resources to these little sucker Goldfinger banana pups. And being that these were in the shade all winter long, we've got a terrible issue with shade during the winter months. We're dealing with about 3 to 4 months of continuous shade. The parent stalk offers the light to these pups during those months, but now that the light's returning to the soil, we're gonna be pruning the parent stalk any day now. So we're gonna be, look forward to seeing that soon. And then if we go behind the wall, check out all of these fruit trees that we've got going on back here, starting with a pomegranate tree. And if you're wanting some early fruit in your garden, consider planting the loquat tree. And it's again a very tropical feeling tree, and also again one of the earliest fruits you can enjoy on your property. And then to the right is something we planted about 2.5 years ago, and we followed the Dave Wilson with Tom Spellman recommendation. Dave Wilson fruit trees, where we planted 2 varieties of plum trees into one hole. We planted the Santa Rosa, which is a self-pollinating variety, with the Satsuma plum, which requires cross-pollination. So we planted those in the same hole just to see how that in fact would work. And we enjoyed a few fruit last year, and we're expecting hundreds this year, as you can see with all of those white, beautiful flowers. So here's the 3rd variety of bananas behind me. This is now the 4th year we've been growing the ice cream, also sometimes referred to as the Java variety of bananas. We've got 2 young pups, quite tall, and then the parent that's supporting that large bunch of bananas. We've been harvesting consistently between 55 to 60 pounds of bananas per year, per plant. So just check that out, and we're very excited about growing bananas here in Los Angeles, California. And then just underneath that, we've got our passion fruit vine. This is the parent plant cutting that we took from Florida about 8 years ago. And this year, keep in mind that passion fruit have an average life of only 7 years. So if you've got a variety you like, make sure you take cuttings and continue to propagate it. And that's why you may notice some other passion fruit vines throughout the property. And it's a process of propagating that we do every single year. We continue this way. Check out our newest addition. Believe it or not, these little ducklings are about 25 days old now. We got them on March 10th as day-old chicks, and they already look close to about the size of a regular standard duck. These are the Muscovy, sometimes referred to as the quackless ducks, and that's the reason we got them. My children are having a wonderful time playing with these 2 newest edition pets, and you can see behind it are our bunnies from last year's spring, and they're tunneling away there. But what I'm wanting to highlight and share here is our 3-in-1 apple tree. This is an apple tree I personally grafted with a Granny Smith apple with the 3-in-1 plant guard on there, color brown, to demonstrate the different colors. Over here is a reddish green variety of apple that we've got with Ivory Organics color white, and then in the back we've got a red Gala with the Ivory Organics color green on there. And we're going to talk about the importance of whitewashing to protect what I like calling the heart of the tree, being the tree trunk and lower branches. We'll go into more detail on that in a second. And then in containers, and this is something we've learned from, again, Tom Spellman of the Dave Wilson Nursery, is putting your blueberries in containers. When it comes to fruit trees, pretty much all fruit trees will do better if they're in the ground, but when it comes to blueberries, blueberries do best when they're in containers. So and that helps them from getting waterlogged and leading to root rot and other diseases. Blueberries always perform better in containers, and that's the reason that we've got all of our blueberries here in containers, and we've been enjoying consistently year after year quality blueberries from these plants. And then the famous, now what's going to be coming, our 10-in-1 fig tree. What I like highlighting just in this little zone over here, you can easily tell by these leaves and the patterns and the colors that there's definitely 3 different kinds of figs just in this variety. But again, there's 10 flavors. This one over here with the darker leaves is the Chicago Hardy. In the middle, Strawberry Verte. Off to this side is the Green Isha. This one over here that's just beginning to sprout is the Celestial. And then behind that, brown turkey. There's a variety I've got in my notes that we're grafting over here. There's some new growth happening just behind there. Over here is the panache, also referred to as the tiger fig. And as we wrap around, over here is the cadota fig and another graft. And here again, you can see that growth that's happening off of this graft that we did on top of the brown turkey. As this branched, creating 2 branches. So we're gonna allow this brown turkey to continue making brown turkeys, but now this will be a new flavor. This will be flavor number 8, and then flavor number 9 that we've added, and flavor number 10. So this will make it a 10-in-1 fig tree. Again, the flavors that we have back here is a cadota green, and in the front over here is that tiger panache variety of fig. So here's our 10-in-1 fig, and it all started with about a 15 to 20 foot tall tree that we cut only 2.5, tops 3 years ago, right down to this level over here. And then once we pruned it here, it created 2 branches. And then those 2 branches we pruned to create these 5 branches. And off of these 5 branches, we're now enjoying 10 flavors of fig in a very narrow part of our garden, compared to having to plant 10 figs, which would consume the majority of our backyard space. So grafting is an excellent way to enjoy a lot of flavors in a very small, compact area of your garden. And let's continue the tour. So off on this corner, we planted also a passion fruit vine, which can grow anywhere from 20 to 40 feet in just a single growing season. And you can see that the vine's grown. We've installed some lighting for our courtyard here, and you can see how the vine has caught onto the light structure, and it's gonna offer now shade to our courtyard, while we also get to enjoy the beautiful flowers and unlimited passion fruits. Just another example of capitalizing on garden space. So this here is the avocado stretch within our property. We've got 3 avocado trees, starting with the Hass avocado. As you can see, it's going into bloom, but you can see it even more so with the Fuerte avocado. And just yesterday, this Fuerte avocado fell off the tree, as the plant is now focusing its resources towards the blossoms and the new generation of fruit. And you can see how it's indicated by being more oval shaped and more green compared to the Hass avocado that's more round and black. So the Fuerte avocado, and also the Fuerte avocado, is known as a type B avocado. Hass avocados are type A avocados, and by having both on your properties and cross-pollination happening between the 2 trees, production of avocados is expected to increase an extra 5 to 20% more. Avocados are considered self-fruitful, so 1 avocado is all you need, but by having 2 varieties, a type A and a type B, fruit production will increase again by that 5 to 20%. And as we continue over here, what I want to highlight is you'll notice that this tree trunk, which is exposed to a lot of light from one side of the canopy, has been protected with the Ivory Organics 3-in-1 plant guard being whitewashed and cooled so that the bark doesn't burn. But we've found burn actually happening higher up in the canopy, and these branches, believe it or not, as thin as they are the same age as these larger branches that are above it. The upper canopy is taking over to the detriment of these lower branches, and the goal with most backyard orchards is to have low-lying fruit. You want trees that branch low so you can actually reach those fruit when it comes to time to harvest. This tree I've kind of allowed to get out of control in regards to the way it's wanting to behave on its own, rather than as a backyard orchard managing the control of the plant. And what's happened with this style of tree and not being able to properly whitewash it is there's a lot of burn happening to the primary branches, what I also call the heart of the tree, which I define as the tree trunk, and then the primary branches. The primary branches are above my head rather than being somewhere below my waist, which is what I want to accomplish, as we're going to do together with this 3rd and final newestly added Hass avocado, which we have over here. I want to give the honor and the privilege to my friend Enoch of the Urban Gardener to help me prune this plant. The goal is we want lower branches. If we just leave this plant alone, the same issue that happened with that Fuerte avocado is going to happen to this newly planted Hass avocado, being that it's going to push out these primary branches that are going to go tall. The upper branches are going to dominate to the detriment of the lower branches. To correct that issue, what we're going to do is we're going to prune the height of the plant off, and we're gonna encourage these lower 3 branches to become the future primary branches for the sauce avocado. And the reason we want to have so many avocados on this property is because avocados are gold. They're at least $1 each, and sometimes they're $2, and sometimes there's $3 a piece. And I can enjoy avocados every single day of the year. And by planting different varieties, by incorporating grafting techniques as well to your avocados, you can enjoy year-round avocados by having the right varieties on your property. So we're dedicating 3 trees to avocados just again because we love avocados and we can enjoy them every day, and they're so delicious and nutritious.
All right, so I get the pleasure of pruning down Charles's avocado. So what we're going to do is, like he said, we're going to cut this down to its lower branches. So what I'm going to do here first is I'm going to cut it off of the stake. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to give this thing a cut right about there, just above these branches. Here we go. Sorry, Charles. Sometimes cutting something off like that really seems like a real drastic measure, but what it's really going to do is going to improve the health of this plant. It's going to make it so much better. You're going to have so much better avocados to come. I'm really jealous. Again, I wish I had avocado trees in my urban garden. So, all right, let's move the stake here nice and gently, not to really disturb that root system down in there. This plant's now able to hold itself up really well. And what we're going to do is we're going to take Charles's IV Organics whitewash here. Nice little paintbrush. And we're just going to paint this onto his avocado tree. We're just going to start right from the top where we pruned. And come into these branches a bit. Oh, stripping a little bit. Down here on this side. All right, so there we go. We've got that all set, clipped off, pruned, and ready to go. It's got some whitewash to protect it from this California sun. This avocado should be producing here real soon. Some really nice avocados.
Thank you so much, Enoch, for cutting my trees. The value of what we're gonna accomplish now are these 3 otherwise branches that were gonna become inferior to the above structure are now gonna become the primary branches, which is exactly what we've just accomplished. These 3 branches will now be the primary branches, and we've now got a heart of the tree that's low, and we're gonna be easy to maintain it now from sunburn and insects and rodents, and being able to better control what I always call the heart of the tree, because as long as we preserve the heart, if there's any damage on the extremities, then we can always prune that off. But when the damage happens towards the heart, that's going to shorten the life and the health of the plant. And we've whitewashed it with a product that is registered material for use in organic agriculture, and that's organic compared to using the traditional latex paint. And that was the reason for the Ivory Organics products, was to do away with putting chemical latex paint, which is designed for your house, because 100 years later, that paint's still going to be on your house. But you put it on your trees, as the tree grows, within 1 to 3 years, as the bark layer is replacing itself new, all that paint's going to wind up in your soil and contaminate your soil pretty much indefinitely. But let me show you examples of burn that have escaped my way because the heart of the tree is now so high. If I pull these branches down, I'm hoping you can see some burn that's happening right up in here. I'm hoping the camera can catch this, but you can see that the branches are just toast. And so with all of that burn happening, the plant's not going to be able to move the resources and the sugars and the support that these flowers and ultimately the fruit are going to need. The damage within the heart of the plant, if we can get it even higher, you would see that the large branches are also dying and rotting back, just as I can demonstrate with our plumeria that we have on the corner of the property. So come and follow me, let me share that with you. So this here's a potted plumeria. You can see that we've whitewashed the primary part of the plant, as we again call the heart, but since then, it's grown, it's pushed all of this unprotected growth. And check out what happened over here. You can quite easily see the burn that's happening on the south side of the plant. The north side of the plant is not burnt at all. And this burn has gone so deep into the plant, as I like calling it, a 3rd-degree burn. And this is even beyond. 3rd-degree burn, just like on your skin, there'll be a discoloration of your skin if it's a 1st-degree burn, 2nd-degree burn, maybe even some deeper burn. But once the cambium tissue, such as this, and even the underlying wood is being harmed, we've got a 3rd-degree burn. I usually call 3rd-degree burn once the cambium tissue and the wood is exposed. This has gone beyond the wood. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna simply prune all of this burnt, damaged wood. Again, thankfully we've whitewashed and protect the tree trunk and that lower branch, but now we're going to prune the burn off, like so. And now we're going to plant the best parts of the above structure from that burn. So we've got this cutting. As plumerias propagate quite easily from cutting, and you can see all of this new growth that's happening here on the tips. So we're gonna create cutting number 1, and we're also gonna use this right above all of this damaged wood. We're gonna cut right above it and create another cutting out of this. We can even divide these into more pieces and create even more cuttings off the plumeria. And what we're gonna do this time is we're going to protect the pruned area. We're gonna re-whitewash the entire structure and all of the pruned exposed entryways for disease as well as pests from entering it. So we're gonna seal all that. I'm gonna do it more on my time. And this time when we go to plant our cuttings, anything that's above the ground will also similarly whitewash as well. But I'm gonna first get it in the ground, and then we're gonna whitewash it and protect it again from damaging sunburn, so it's not combating burn while it's also trying to get itself rooted and established. And that's the benefit of whitewashing your plants.
So, all right, what a great tour of your backyard, Charles.
Thanks for helping me out.
Yeah, thanks again for having us over here. It's been really great to get to meet you. We met Charles over at A Million Drops in our last episode. That was a really great episode. Yeah. I really enjoyed that meetup and getting to see that urban garden you helped build there with the,
Thank you.
In that community resource center.
Yeah, and helping the homeless throughout the Los Angeles area.
How's it going there at the Million Drops?
It's going great. They're continuously getting more support from the community, which is what it's all about, is the people surrounding the homeless in the area to just basically do your best and do your part to let them know that you're there and that they're people just as we are, and that they need resources. And more important than the resources is they need a hello, they need a hug, they need a blanket, they need that social interaction also, and that they're not indispensable people. They're part of our society, and they need to be recognized, and that's what A Million Drops does, and I'm proud to be a part of that organization.
Yeah, one thing I wanted to say though too is that we didn't necessarily get it on camera, on film the last time we were there, but there were several people who started gathering and hanging out with us there, in the garden, and you could tell that they really admired what you did there.
Thank you.
And what you were doing there for them. And it is that personal interaction and getting to go out there. And plus, as you can tell through the tour and everything, Charles is just very knowledgeable about the things that he's talking about. So he is a massive resource on being able to just kind of teach people some
Thank you.
really great knowledge about gardening. And just that sort of thing is really a real benefit, to be able to outreach to people and give them that opportunity to get that knowledge.
So happy to help and share. It's what it's all about.
Yeah, it's great that you're doing that. And so, but here we are in your home this time, which is just really, really awesome. I mean, I got to see your video you did recently with Kay Cottrell. As people know, I've done some videos with her as well. So, and
Her YouTube's the Late Bloomer Gardening Show.
Late Bloomer Gardening Channel on YouTube, Kay Cottrell. And she came out, and I got to see the video where she came out and saw your garden, and I was kind of jealous at that point. I was like, oh wait, she got the great video before me.
No, and I knew you first, so yeah. I'm glad you finally made it.
Because you have some really wonderful things growing here in your backyard. I just, like I mentioned before, I'm just really jealous of the Southern California environment, the ability to grow so much citrus and avocados. You've got banana trees here in your backyard, the passion fruit, which I just got to try for the first time the other day. Really, really delicious. But boy, does it got a bite, huh?
It's awesome. I mean, it's the foundation. For those of you that don't know passion fruit, Fruit Punch was created with passion fruit being the flavor behind it. So it's an easy way to basically convert any tropical drink and give it that extra kick is with passion fruit.
Excellent, excellent. So how long have you been gardening here at your, or here in the Hollywood area?
So I was born here.
Oh.
And then the journey took me all the way down to Orange County. And then from there, I lived in Florida for almost a decade. And then I came back to LA. So a full circle. I've been here now 7 years.
7 years you've been growing the garden here in this place here.
Yeah, so all of the fruit trees, the most mature of the trees that I've got here on my property are only about 3 to 4 years, because we have to do a lot of hardscaping. Something I shared with you at the beginning is I'm like, I bet you think my garden is a lot smaller than what it appears. I've done hundreds of videos from here and so many different educational videos just highlighting one piece of the garden. And you got to do the whole tour, but all of these 20 plus fruit trees are only on 700 square feet of land. So I've kind of measured out all the dirt, and it's just such a small amount of land.
Amazing economical use of the space, though. That's just
absolutely. We've grown all the things that we love and use, and that's what it's all about.
Up on the trellis up there, you're just taking advantage of all of the space that you have available to you to grow, and growing some really amazing stuff, and using your products, which is really great. One of the things I do want to talk about is IV Organic. It's a really great product. I've actually you did give me some that I got to use at home. I've been using the 6 Macros Plus.
Good.
And it's been really doing great with some of my plants there too, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to get back with you and come and visit you again, because I really did enjoy that product, and it does work well with what I'm doing.
That's awesome. For the viewers that don't know, 6 Macros Plus is an organic fertilizer by Ivory Organics, and the 6 Macros is, and what we're proud about is, it's the only fertilizer that has all of the macronutrients. So macros are the nutrients that plants need in abundance. And so if you just Google what are the macronutrients plants need, there's 6 of them. Get all the fertilizers on the shelf only focus on NPK. And if they're only focusing on 3, that's half the story. And it's
they
like,
need more.
Why wouldn't they do it all? So Ivory Organics is proud to share that we're the first product to give, create a brand fertilizer that has all the macronutrients, a lot of micronutrients, and the beneficial mycorrhiza, beneficial bacteria. It's just an amazing product, and we're so happy with all the success stories we're hearing about it.
Excellent, excellent. Yeah, I've been really enjoying using it, and really thank you for getting to meet you and getting a chance to be able to try that in my garden.
Of course.
As you can tell, it obviously works really well here in your gardens as well too. Also, thanks for letting me be a part of taking care of and pruning some of your trees.
Yeah, thank you for cutting my avocado tree in half, beyond in half.
I know, I just totally took that thing out.
You did.
Well, it was actually fun to be able to.
But it's going to look amazing. Here we are now, the first week of April, so I promise you that by May, June, July, we'll do another update, and you're going to see how awesome it's going to look. And I'm just really excited about the fact that we're going to have the tree's heart, as I like to again defining it, the tree trunk lower branches are going to be so much easier to manage, and the plant's going to be just a lot easier maintenance for the many more years and decades that we're going to hopefully get to enjoy Haas avocados thanks to this guy. So thank you, Enoch.
All right, got to help out and do something to make sure that your garden's even better. All right, excellent.
Thanks.
And also, you've got a pruning project that we're going to be doing here and working on here in just a moment. So what I want to do is I want to encourage all of you guys to check down below for all of the links to IV Organic and IV Organic's YouTube channel, where you'll get to see a lot of really, really great educational videos. Charles puts out some really great videos right here from his backyard, and soon you'll be able to click to, and when it comes out, I will put a link down below to the episode of the avocado tree, which we're going to, I think, cut up even more, so the bigger one.
The big one, the Fuerte avocado we're gonna cut now. So, and I'm gonna actually even upload the video tonight. So that'll be up before you get back home.
So it'll be available by the time this video comes out.
Yeah. So together we're gonna be doing some major hacking and whitewashing to protect it from the burn that's gonna be coming naturally by this summer. And looking forward to hopefully getting that project done.
Yep.
Next.
Excellent, excellent. Thanks again, Charles.
Thanks,
it's so
Eric.
wonderful to have you, or have me at your house.
You're always welcome.
All of us here at the Urban Gardener getting to enjoy your backyard urban garden.
It's my pleasure.
It's really great. So I want everybody right now to hit that thumbs up button right now for Charles Malki showing up here on the Urban Gardener and letting us prune his avocado tree. So make sure you pound on that like button real quick there. And if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, or anything at all, hit up that comment section down below. If you got a question for Charles, he'll answer any questions you might leave down below.
Yeah,
as
I'll
well.
definitely be checking out the comments here. So do write your comments, and Enoch and I will take turns answering your questions.
All right, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button and click that bell for future notifications about episodes coming up on the Urban Gardener. And we'll see you all on the very next episode.
Happy gardening.
We're actually in Hollywood right now, and we're meeting up with, oh my gosh. That fly just hovered right in front of my eyeball.
You're like, get it out of my face.
It literally hovered right here in front of my eyeball. This is Urban Garden. Let's go meet up with Charles. All right, I'm gonna try that again. So it's gonna be really cool to get a chance to check out what he's got growing on here. Let's go inside and check out, go inside. I might be able to clip it. I know, it's always the last sentence. It's always the last sentence. So we should be good, just like about right there.
So I'm right here.
I'm
I'm trying to keep us
I don't
even.
know, keep us even. Gonna make
Now I'm
me-
gonna be shorter.
I know.
Okay, here we go.
All right, here we go. And let's get a chance.
So for those of you that don't know what's happening, it's two ladybugs mating on a used hummingbird nest that Enoch cut, the avocado tree.
It's all my fault.
It's totally.